They say it takes 7 weeks to shun and acquire a new habit. Now, there's the rational overcoming the elephant, I can tell you that, right? For the rational rider to guide that elephant, that emotional elephant down the path for 7 weeks to dispense of a habit, right, and acquire a new one, there's some willpower there. Actually, willpower is the rider. Willpower is the rider. And sometimes if we give up on ourselves, it isn't because we're lazy, it's because we're exhausted. We're just tired of trying to keep that elephant down that path. So don't beat yourself up too badly, just go up and get rejuiced and re-energized. So this is an important equation. It causes you to dig deep. And when you get to the B, examine cash and convert the K to a C by really understanding what you have to be different. So this is actually a little bit deeper dive on cash. A little bit deeper dive on cash. Gives you another perspective. Because what people see in the do and in the have is above the waterline. That little bluish line there is the waterline. They see, these are observable things. People will see the actions, the behavior. Behavior is observable, right? And they'll witness your decisions. If we want to change what's on top of that iceberg, though, we got to go below the line. We got to go into the B. We have to go into the B and really examine, well, what do we have to change about skills, beliefs, values, our own identities? Maybe the environment that we're in. Right? They say that change, and I'll tell you a little story about a study. They say that change is really not so much a people problem as it is a situational problem. And you can think of the environment as the situation. So back in the year 2000, some MIT researchers working on eating habits of all of us here in the US, right? They conducted a study. They went to several movie theaters. And to the moviegoers, lots of them, they handed out some popcorn. But they handed out popcorn in 2 size buckets. And these were, big enough buckets that no matter how much was in it, no one could consume all of it. They gave half the buckets, which were a medium size or smaller than the biggest. They handed those to individuals. Again, the contents could not be totally consumed, but it was a medium-sized bucket. The other half of people, they handled the large bucket. Right? At the end of the study, they discovered that the people with the large bucket, again, neither bucket could have been fully consumed. And oh, by the way, here's the kicker. Taste was not involved. This was the stalest popcorn that they could think of. Some of the participants regarded the popcorn like the little packing styrofoam things. So it was not about taste. No one ate more because of taste. In fact, they go on further to say that some of the people in the study, although this was given to them free, asked for their money back. The popcorn was so bad. This was about environment. This was about situation. And they discovered 53% was consumed more by those with the large bucket. It had nothing to do with eating habits. It had nothing to do with the person. It had everything to do with the situation. Given a larger bucket and a larger quantity, we eat more. So the conclusion was, get rid of the large bucket. You can still stock it full and it can't be all consumed, but just get rid of the large bucket. Change the situation. It's not a people problem. It was a situation problem. Very interesting study. So in the identity iceberg, ask yourself, what do you need to change in your B about your situation? You know what dream stealers are? Anybody know some? Oh, I always get that kind of a look, right? We all know who some dream stealers are. If you have dream stealers, sometimes they're family members. Right? You got to put them in check because it's not fair. It's not fair to you. You want to change? You got to put your dream stealers in check. A lot more easier said than done. Trust me. The only way I can stand up here in front of you is because I still make a lot of these mistakes. I just have a coach that keeps me honest. Okay, question is, should you change? And we hear this a lot. And I am not looking at anyone, I'm just speaking some facts. We hear a lot from business owners, probably me included. You know what? Can't follow that precept, can't follow that formula. My business is different. My business is unique. And so we start thinking about this and we say, well, wait a second. Are you in business to make money? Anybody here?
Apparently not.
Follow the question. The answer is yes, we're all in business to make money. That's a similarity. Do you need a system for consistently bringing in new customers?
Yes.
Yes. Do you need a system for satisfying your customers so that they will come back again and again? Hallelujah. Do you need to deliver those products and services for less total cost than the customers will pay you? Because we intend to make a profit. The answer is yes. So how different are you really? The thing that actually makes your business different is you. So, where do you want to work? What do you want to work on? So why do people stay where they are? How about my lady with the business plan? It was fear. It is fear. Anyone know what fear really stands for, though, if you break it down? What's the F stand for? Give me a shot.
Oh,
Oh! Did I push this? That gets edited.
hold for editing, Tony.
That gets edited.
Cut that out.
I was going to say, you guys are really good.
You're a good teacher.
No one else has ever got. I must have been transmitting.
Only my chemistry teacher would have done that.
It is false expectations appearing real. Right? How can fear be this? I got to throw a question out there that you don't necessarily have the answer for. How is it that fear can be this? Come on, you got some ideas.
How can it be false?
You know, well, how can fear be false expectations appearing real?
It's just all in your head. It's your mentality.
Your imagination.
It's imagination.
Mentality.
It's up in your head. It's oftentimes the lack of knowledge. Right? And the unwillingness to go out and get the knowledge. Mark, you said earlier, sometimes we don't change because we're comfortable. Right? Because the minute we walk a little bit outside that comfort zone, that fear thing engages us again. And it is simply lack of knowledge. I remember when I was a kid, there were 6 siblings in the family. 3 girls, 3 boys, an older brother, and then a twin brother. And there was always the county fair that we went to. And how many of you went to the county fair and there was always 2 or 3 of these haunted houses, right, on the grounds, which was really nothing more than these big semi-trailers, but pitch dark with these floors that would go. Come on, how many of you, have you witnessed those?
Yeah.
Or was I the only poor brother that was exposed to this? No! And the worst part is my 2 brothers, my twin and my older brother, they loved to take me in this thing. And I didn't. I thought, what sense is this? That I'm taking step by step through this pitch dark trailer, groping, and you know, what is the sense of this, right? I was scared. Because there was no one there to shed some light on anything, right? So there was just a little bit of fear, but you know what? I was in a semi-trailer trailer. Not a whole lot that's going to happen. But nobody told me that going in. They said, go in there, get scared. So fear is really false expectations appearing real. And the only way we overcome that is taking the first step. Seeking and getting some knowledge. Does that make sense? Shedding a light, headlights on the road, and we can overcome the fear. So the business lady who's frozen, we convinced her to come to my next growth club. So we can start putting some headlights on the road for her. So balancing the rational and the emotional. So here's your rider. Your